Guys, this video is to help you with your Hello World project. You should be looking at the start screen before we go any further, so if you're not there, get there. And once you're on the start screen, we want to open a new project. We do that by clicking File, New, Project. Or you can hit Control-Shift-N, which is the keystrokes to do the same thing. Once this window opens up to start a new project, make sure Visual C# is highlighted on the left column. Make sure Windows Forms app is highlighted on the middle column. And then we want to rename our file down here in the name box and call it some variation of Hello World. And then obviously you'll want to browse for the location that you want to save your file. Hopefully that's going to be your USB flash drive. If you forgot that, you can save it on the desktop today, but just understand that it might be deleted by tomorrow. Once you have done all those things, you can go ahead and click OK. Oh, excuse me, I don't have my flash drive in, so I'm going to save to my desktop. And now I'm going to click OK. And you give Visual Studio a few minutes and it will create your C# project for you. So we'll just hang on here. And sometimes it takes a little longer than others. There we go. So you should be looking at this screen. Make sure Form 1 is visible. If your toolbox is pinned, unpin it from the tab and actually pin it to your desktop so you have the tools available for your use. Again, remember the pin has to be pointed down in order for the window to be pinned onto your desktop. And once you are here, we can now start the Hello World project. The first thing we want to do is to create a button. So if you look in the left column of your toolbox here, one of the very first choices at the top, it says button, and we want to double click that. And you can see as soon as you do that, a button is created. This button can be moved around on your desktop. It can be resized. So you may want to resize the button and just make it an appropriate size. And then obviously the descriptive text here says button 1. That's not terribly useful to the user, so we want to go to the Properties window on the bottom right part of your screen, and we want to find the choice that says Text. To the right of that choice, you'll see it says Button 1, and that's the text we actually want to change and make it a little bit more useful. I'm going to change my text here, but you can add text to anything of the sort. Click continue, click here to continue, hit this button or else. Just basically instructions for your user to click the button. Once you do that, if you click anywhere back in your desktop, you'll notice the text has changed. And obviously that text is a little small, so you may want to change the font size, and you can do that again by going to your Properties window and scrolling through until you see the word font. And here it is on my screen on the right. And to the right of that, it should be defaulted to Microsoft Sans Serif 8.25. To change that, you want to click the three dots to the right of 8.25 point. And then just choose your font that you would prefer, any style that you would prefer, and the size you would prefer. I'm going to choose 14-point font and leave it in Sans Serif and click OK. And then you'll notice my button has text that's a little bit more readable. I'm going to resize it again just to kind of make it an appropriate size button. Just throw it in the middle of my desktop here, and now my button is ready to go. At this point, oops, I accidentally just went into code. At this point, this button really is clickable, but it does nothing. So now we want to actually enter the code that's going to allow this button to do something. So highlight the button, and once it's highlighted, give it a double click, and that should bring up the code on your screen. Once that code is on your screen, you should see a line that looks like this. It says private void button 1, click, object sender, event arguments, and then there's a brace right here, and another brace right here. Your cursor, if it is not, should be between those braces. So you can see mine right here is located between the braces. Yours needs to be there. So if for some reason your hand got too close to the touchpad and the cursor's not there, you need to put it there. You'll get runtime errors if you don't. At this point, we want our users to see a message box when we click the button. So we are going to use the code message box. And you can see as soon as I start to type that, I get all the choices of code that use the word message. And message box is the descriptor I want. I need to make that box visible, and the way you do that in C# is to hit a period or dot, and then type or click show. Once you do that, now we just have to enter the rest of our syntax. You start with a parentheses, start with a quote, and now anything you type between those quotes will be displayed in the message box after the user clicks the button. So I am going to hello world, hence the name of our program. And whoops, that is a definite typo, not heck world, but hello world. And now you'll notice that I still have a syntax error as indicated by this red squiggly right here. And if you highlight it, it even tells you what's wrong. It'll say semicolon expected. But every command in C#, you need to tell the computer that you're at the end of a command line, and you do that by typing a semicolon. As soon as I do that, you see my syntax error squiggly is gone. And at this point, I want to save all. That's the button up here with two little blue squares, two little discs there. So I save my project. And at this point, if you want to go back to the design menu, I'll really just do that to remind you how. When you want to not see code, go to the top and click the tab that says design. And that goes back to where you started. We really didn't need to do that, but that happens sometimes where you accidentally get into your code window and you want to get back. Just click the design tab. And at this point, let's compile our program and run it. You do that by clicking the start button up here. So we click it and give C# a few minutes to kind of get rolling here. You can see I've got my blue circle of death as I wait. Sometimes that will happen quickly, sometimes it won't. And then, this is my program right here. So here's my button. You can see it's active. If I click it, it says hello world, and I can either close this window or click OK. My button, hello world, I click OK. I click my button, hello world, I click OK. So hopefully that's helpful to you, and we'll see you in class.